Alright, welcome back to part 2 of the Bog Talk. Bug and I decided that it's a good time to start this video up again, so we're going to pick up right where we left off on Bogs. Yay!
Alright, I'm honestly not finding a whole heck of a lot growing and blooming out here right now. It's still, spring/winter in the Northwoods here, so luckily I brought out some pictures to tell you about a couple other cool plants. Labrador Tea. Labrador Tea. Super common plant up here in Bogs. Look at the beautiful flowers. This one's really nice. If you find a plant that, it kind of looks like a really big version of bog laurel or bog rosemary, but the leaves are much more broad. And then if you turn them over, the underside of the leaf will have a fuzziness to it. It'll be really fuzzy and it can be kind of yellow. So that one is Labrador Tea. Bogs are also really great places to find carnivorous plants, and we have not just one, not just two, but 3 different types of carnivorous plants that can be found in bogs, and they are all very fascinating. So this one here is Sundew. These can be a little bit harder to find because they grow closer to the ground and they are actually very, very small. So these carnivorous plants, if you can see those red little feelers sticking up, they look like they have little moist water droplets on the end. Those will sense that prey, usually an insect, a small insect, has made the bad decision to stand on that plant, and those little red feelers will enclose themselves around the insect, kind of like a Venus flytrap if you've ever seen videos of those, and then it will absorb the insect. That's not a good way to go. This one here is pitcher plant. This guy eats other organisms, again, insects, grubs, things like that. Anything that makes the bad choice of falling into these pitchers. So you can see they're kind of like elongated tubes there with openings on the top, and that's what the prey will fall down into. And these get full of rainwater, and then the plant will secrete an enzyme so that whoever is unlucky enough to fall into the pitcher plant is going to get a nasty death by drowning, and then will slowly dissolve and the plant will absorb the nutrients. And then finally, we're going to talk about bladderwort. This is just a picture of the flower because it's gorgeous, but the plant is also very interesting. If you pull it out of the water, it looks kind of grassy, and there are dark marks on it that are the bladders, and animals like plankton and small, really tiny animals that live in the water will get sucked into these bladders, and again, the plant will release an enzyme that will break it down, and the plant will absorb it. All right, I was able to find one more plant for y'all right here up close and personal. This is the very important plant and very common in bogs that we see. This is the Tamarack tree. So this is actually a deciduous conifer tree. So when you look at it, when it has all of its needles, it really looks kind of like a pine tree or a spruce tree. But actually in the fall, it will start to turn golden, very, very beautiful, and then it will lose all of its needles for the winter. So if you have a tree around you that you thought was beautiful, and then all of a sudden in the fall it starts to lose all of its needles and you think it's dead, go back and double check because it might be a tamarack. You don't want to be cutting those bad boys down. So looking at this, we have some key characteristics on here. So this guy's just starting to regrow its needles here for the spring. You can see those needles are growing back in bunches. You see that? So they're coming out of this one spot here. There's like 10 or so needles coming out of one spot. So that's a really good indicator that you have a tamarack tree. I've heard people call these larch trees as well. And also on these cuties, tiny little pine cones. Adorable, right? So these are really beautiful trees. Again, come out here in a couple weeks when they start growing even more. Very, very beautiful. So when you're out here searching for cool stuff in the bog, what I recommend you do is get down on your belly, okay? That's one of the benefits of having a boardwalk out here. And really stick your face in the bog and see what you can find, because there's a lot of little plants going on in here that you can easily overlook. So even just right here, I found a little bit of cranberry growing down here. Here's sphagnum moss, here's more cranberry. There's all sorts of little things that you might not necessarily see in a bog unless you get down in the bog, okay? So come on out here, lay on your belly, look in the bog. That's your homework. Oh, you guys, I should have brought a microscope out and taken some plankton samples. There's a little copepod. It's a type of zooplankton that's kind of skirting around in here. And then earlier I also saw a little red water mite swimming around. So even microscope, there's the water mite. There he is. Do you see it? Do you see the little red? Oh, I bet you can't see it. He's in there though, trust me. Oh, there he is again. He's on the move. So even, you know, plants aside, in the water, in the very, very tiny organisms, more than you would realize at first. Look, these water mites are all over here. Here's one here, there. There's one there. I wish that you guys were here with me to see this. All right, one last thing that I want to show you guys. This is a really neat part of right off of our trail to show you this. Is the transition from the bog onto terrestrial habitat. So watch this. You got bog. Then we come to the edge. It's very wet. Maybe this is where the frogs will be laying their eggs. Maybe some dragonflies, things like that. We hit land here. See, pine needles, trees, dead tree, and forest. So this area right here, this transition from one habitat type to another is called an edge. And they are very, very important if you're looking for a lot of different types of species. So right on the edge here, right within, you know, 100 feet or so of this edge habitat, you are going to find more species diversity within this edge than you would within either just a terrestrial forest or within a bog. And that makes sense, right? Because those two habitats are overlapping. So if you're looking to see a large diversity in a short amount of time, come on down to the bog. Good thing I stopped at this edge because I'm finding some neat stuff for y'all. Look remember I told you about Labrador Tea? Well, look who decided to show up today. Labrador Tea. So this is the little guy I was telling you about that's really fuzzy that you're going to be looking for. Later on in the spring and deeper into the summer, it will look yellow on the bottom, but you can even see how fuzzy it looks? Oh, it's so soft and lovely. So that's Labrador Tea right here. And it has a really pleasant scent to it. So it's very floral. And also sitting right here, I can see another species right here that's flowering. Let me show you. This is trailing arbutus. This isn't necessarily a bog plant, but you can see it has these sort of dry oval-shaped leaves. Touching it, it feels really rough right now. Oh, look at it. It's blooming. Spring is here, even if it's still snowing most mornings. And you know what? I wouldn't have seen any of this had I not stopped at the edge. All right, I found one more for you guys. This one right here. This is called gold thread. See how it's kind of a waxier type of leaf here? So I don't want you going out in the woods or in bogs and pulling a bunch of stuff up, but gold thread, a good way to identify it, if you look at the base of it, you see how it's starting to get that golden hue to it on the roots. That's how you know it's gold thread, okay? So here's some here, gold thread. Don't even get me started on vernal or ephemeral pools. Oh, look at this. You guys, look at this. Amphibian eggs. Remember, I was just telling you how important these areas are for animals that are laying their eggs in water, like dragonflies, frogs, and toads. Look at this. These are amphibian eggs. I'll have to maybe do a little research to see exactly what kind they are, but I'm guessing some sort of frog egg. That is cool. Here's how big it is compared to my hand, that egg mass. You can see that? That is cool. Again, all on the edge. All right, I am so glad that you took the time to join me on our little exploration of the bog that we have right here at the Discovery Center today. I wish I could tell you more. I wish there was more blooming that I could show you, but unfortunately there's not. So I want you to make this promise to me. I want you to go to our website and look for when we are doing bog hikes. Those are with Annie. She's phenomenal at teaching about bogs. If you have any other questions, you can just email us. You can email me at water@discoverycenter.net. You're always welcome to email the naturalists if you have questions on anything that you see outside, including bogs. Let us know. If we don't know the answer, there's a really good chance that we can find out. So if you're curious about anything outside, make sure you let us know. And also make sure you get out on our beautiful trails and that you are exploring all of the bountiful gifts that nature has to offer. We will see you soon. Hope you're all doing well. Take care.